Hello, my friends. Jacob is here once again. I had a terrible asthma attack yesterday, and I was going to just basically spend the whole day in bed. And of course, I spend the entire time on my phone. And what do I find? I find out something that's going on right now while everybody's paying attention to all of the Trump-Comey nonsense. All that FBI nonsense. It's like a distraction, you know. Television is called programming, so we are being fed, a steady diet of drama. And, the Russians are in the house, and what's going on, and are we going to impeach Trump? And while all of this nonsense is going down, while we're being fed this steady diet of nonsense, they build it up. They started off with this, and then it's fake news, and then it's censorship, and then it's this, and now it's the Russians have taken over the White House, and you hear about the FBI and how they're standing in solidarity with Comey by changing their Facebook pictures. And you hear about how the Democrats on the Hill, they're up in their game and they're saying, impeach Trump! And non-stop, steady diet of this nonsense. Just like it was North Korea just a little while ago. Remember I talked about all of these distractions, all of this drama being played out while other things are happening. You know, while they're chemtrailing the skies and we're okay, right? While they're spying on us and we're okay, it's all good. While they're about to import something that could basically be devastating for the population. That's right, people. Today we're talking about the bird flu. Right, I've done videos on this before. There's a reason we were not accepting poultry from China. So why all of a sudden has the media decided to put all of their effort into this and not talk about the fact that we just signed a deal where we're going to be trading with China and we're going to be importing their chicken here? The one place where the bird flu is out of control. Ha! Buckle up, people, because this is going to be an interesting one. It's true. It's true. The drama that we're experiencing, every single one of us on a regular basis, it's all a big distraction. It's almost like the stuff that's really going down, the stuff that really should be reported about, is purposely shelved. I mean, we know that there are only, basically 6 corporations that are in charge of all of the media. We know that, it's a constant diet of left-right, red-blue, right? Republican-Democrat, 2 sides of the story, these arguing, bickering sides, all this nonsense, Trump-Hillary. And yet the whole time, good friends, all a distraction. We're being distracted. We have lost our rights. We're shaken down every time we go to an airport. Now we're going to be biometrically scanned. That's the next thing. They just kind of rev that plan up, I've done videos on that. Watch those videos, or I'll link it and annotate it at the end of the show. But this new thing that I just saw today, man, it's spooky. Let me tell you a little bit about the bird flu. I mean, the biggest pandemic of all time, the flu pandemic of 1918. It was the deadliest in modern history, infected about 500 million people. Now you got to remember, back in 1918, there weren't a lot of people here. Today we're looking at like 7 billion. In a couple of years, we're going to be looking at a lot more. Some estimates say we're going to be out of control population-wise. That's why a lot of people have wondered if that Georgia Guidestone, the Illuminati, the Mason, the whole story about how the Guidestones got there and they're like 10 commandments or whatever. Number one, maintaining humanity under 500 million. People are worried about, food in the future. They're worried about oil in the future. They're worried about all this nonsense in the future. Well, that's what we're told, but we don't really know what to believe. But let me tell you something. While we're being told all of this, it gets you to think, are they trying to decrease the population? Because let's talk about this for a second, okay? A third of the people in the world were affected, a third, from the bird flu. So I guess, great timing, right? Why not, create a great trade deal? We can import the cows, you import the chicken. We'll import the mad cow, you import the bird flu. Let me bring you up to date with some insight. We're talking recent insight from one of Hong Kong's premier scientists on the subject, Guan Yang. I'm sure I destroyed the guy's name, Guan Yi. At a research lab on top of the forested hill overlooking Hong Kong, scientists are growing viruses, bird flu viruses. They first drill holes into little eggs and then they inoculate them with the avian influenza to observe how the virus behaves. And maybe they're genetically modifying them, just to find out how it works, not to make it more deadly. This lab at Hong Kong University is the world's forefront of understanding H7N9. A deadly strain of the bird flu that has killed more people this season than ever before in China, 162. This season, from September to March, 162 dead, lots more infected, thousands put into the ER, suffering, right? And the scientist says that the bird flu, it's mutating and it's getting worse. And it's getting, it's right now relatively difficult to catch this, but he says that it's mutating. When I read this to you, it may stress you out a little bit. I don't want you to be stressed, but you got to be educated about this stuff. We gotta understand what's going on so that when they do this stuff, we can say, "Whoa, put on the brakes, man. We don't want no bird flu. We're doing okay with Purdue, right? We don't need diseased chicken." All right. So anyway, in any single season, it worried Guan Yi. But what disturbs him more is, listen to this, how fast the strain is evolving. He says, "We're trying our best, but we still can't control this virus." I don't know why he started to sound like Captain Kirk. Bird flu is constantly changing, evolving, and now it is more deadly than ever. Guan says that this is very bad news for global poultry. It's worth hundreds of billions of dollars and people stand to lose a lot of money. So they don't want this to happen. So why not strike a deal up with the US and send the chickens to us, right? What worries Guan more, though, is that H7N9 has proved an ability to mutate quicker than anything else. Quickly, super fast, mutating, meaning that when they find a way to deal with it, it mutates and then they have to find another way to deal with it. But already in rare cases, when humans catch it from birds, by the way, they also have caught it from cats and other things. So it's not just the birds, but primarily from chickens and poultry. More than a third of those that contract it die. Now listen to this. because this is the last part. I'm not going to do anything goofy with this, but this is important. This is what the top guy says over in China, okay? Just recently, okay? I think this virus possesses the greatest threat to humanity than any other in the past 100 years. Okay, now, let that sink in. The past 100 years. 100 years ago, there was a bird flu epidemic, and in just a short period of time, less than a year, we know, those powers that be, we know those sinister powers that be, they love their anniversaries, they love their numerology, they love all of that nonsense. And guess what? 1918 was the huge one, wiped out a third of the population. 100-year anniversary happening less than 6 months. Hey, I got a great idea. Why don't we import chicken from China? Huh? That'd be awesome. I mean, we're talking cullings of not 100 birds. We're talking like almost hundreds of thousands of birds are being killed. It's gotten to the point where they have said, look, we can't control it anymore. We can't eradicate it. There's no way. All we can do now is try to minimize the damage. Right? I mean, it's mutating quickly while they happen to be working on it. And now all of a sudden, while everybody's worried about Comey, we're about to import that. Now, let me tell you why this is interesting. Because a couple of things could come out of this. These are like what could happen. Now, let's say nothing happens. That's great news, okay? Let's say nobody gets sick. I'm thinking the chances of that happening very, very slim, considering people are already catching the bird flu, and we've had a couple of cases here in the States. So it's not, it's not like out of the realm of possibility, but you add this element in where you're going to have the people that are working around the chickens that are diseased now, carting the chickens and moving with the chickens and coming over here and unloading the chickens. It's a possibility that someone could have caught it and passed it along. It's a possibility that maybe, a pigeon or a bat or something sneaks in, brings over on the ship, and then boom, next thing you know, we have another case breaking out. So, okay, let's say the best case scenario is maybe 1 or 2 cases break out. But what's going to happen next? Because 2 things can happen. The media can grab this story and take it home, just like they did with the plague. Remember the plague? Everybody was freaking out about the plague. Everybody was worried about getting the plague. How many people were stressed out about it, okay? And they were detaining people. No rights. The rights were thrown out the window, and legislation's been written so that there really aren't any rights anymore. So, if they have to contain something, your rights are gone. So let's say that one of the scenarios that is not that big of a deal, I guess, would be just a scenario where, everybody freaks out, total panic, nobody's buying chicken anymore, and then there's some kind of an issue. Okay. But let's say what the worst case situation is. Let's say that it gets out of control. Let's say it mutates. Let's say by the 100th anniversary, the bird flu is all over the United States and now all over the world and out of control. That's what this guy is worried about. That's what this guy said. The greatest threat. The top guy who works with the bird flu. He said the greatest threat. Not just him, but the CDC too. CDC absolutely concerned about it, saying that it poses a great threat. And we're going to be importing it very shortly, and none of you knew about it until you saw this video. That's why I'm asking you to please tell other people, because you know what? We haven't imported the chicken soon. I mean, if maybe our Congress and senators say, you know what, we're okay with Purdue. We're good with it. You know, maybe they can stop this. You know, maybe we just don't import poultry. Maybe we import something else and we can still give them our beef. You know, it's a mess, man. Life, it's in this place. It seems it's so short. It's time to live. What if the only thing that matters is more than here? What if all of this is just some big show that we're all a party to? What if none of this is real, right? In the grand scheme of things, just like when you have a nightmare, you wake up and boom, you're not stressed about it. What if this is like a place where each and every one of us is just simply here to experience it and to learn and to grow? Some people say we've been cast here. Some people say that this place is what hell is in the Bible, that hell is another word for the grave, and that we're all basically dead because we're physically dying. And that, you know, this is not our infinite destination. Some people say that we just keep coming back here until we get it right. I'm not going to tell you what to believe. I think my faith should be very evident from here, but I am going to tell you that you better seek. Because if you think this is all there is to it, then you're not living your life. You know, that's the problem. That's why they call it the abode of the dead. That this temporal world is a place of death, that Adam and Adam all died. Now, a lot of people are walking around, they're like, but I'm not dead yet. But how many people are really living their lives? How many people are enjoying the moment? How many people are excited like I am and, you know, and seeing this grand dramatic show, this epic feature film called Life take place right in front of us? How many people are engaged and getting excited and realizing that they can change, they can be a part of it, they can be a main character in what makes this world paradise or what makes this world hell on earth? We can change things, people, but we need to educate ourselves and be aware of what's going on. We can't let the powers that be lull us into this deep, dark sleep where all we're worried about is what the latest fashion is. My point is, let's not pay attention to things that don't matter. Let's pay attention to what really matters. And life really matters. So get involved with your life. Start asking the question, is there more? I know there's more. And each and every one of you that say that there can't be, well, you exist. So you exist, where did you come from? And what if we all came from something? What if we just forgot? And what if we're kind of just like asleep, like dreamers, sleepless? And this programming is meant to keep us dark to what's really going on, the greater picture, becoming involved and becoming a light in this world and shining love to others, so that that's what the end result is, as opposed to this. It's not about money. It's not about greed. It's about love, people. So keep seeking. And if you can do something, get in touch with your, congressman or whatever, or just type your local government and say, hey, we just heard about this bird flu thing, and now we're importing poultry. We want you to say something. We don't want this. Block this. Because I think that it could be, spooky, I don't know. I mean, I could live without chicken. I just don't think we should be bringing chicken in. As much as I love it, I don't think we should be bringing it in when it's out of control over there and most people aren't buying it because they're worried about it. In any event, I love you all. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Please do subscribe. Don't get used to this one video after another. It was just a weird week. And I've just really been inspired this week. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you share it. Please do click that bell and keep in touch. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. You know how to do it. I love you all. I will talk to you soon.